The Blue Jays offense explodes once again, beating the Seattle Mariners 7-3 in the series opener there last night. And my goodness, I mean, we're seeing this team day in, day out get better before our very eyes. That is win number 12 for the Blue Jays in their last 18 games. You guys can do the math. That's 12-6 over the last 18 games. That is very, very good. That's what we're seeing from these younger players. They're starting to buy into a system, and they're starting to really, really make things work. You know, today was something we haven't really seen a lot. Bo Bichette goes 0 for 4 with a couple strikeouts. However, on a big league ball club, on a World Series winning ball club, on even a playoff team, it can't just be the one guy. Other players have to step up and do their job. That's what you saw last night from the Toronto Blue Jays. You know, and in the top of the second, former Buffalo Bison, Tim Lopes, gets a 2-run single of Jacob Waguespack, and it's a 2-0 lead early on for the Seattle Mariners. However, the Blue Jays respond. They don't cave in. They don't collapse. They continue to fight, and they claw back into the ball game with a Smokey getting on base. Brandon Drury comes up, and I love this at bat from Brandon Drury because he stayed on a tough pitch down, but he stayed on it and got enough barrel to it to loop it into left center field. Smokey comes around to score. It's a 2-1 ball game. Great job by Brandon Drury. You know, and I mean, look, with a guy like Brandon Drury, RBI-wise, he's been on a tear lately. I don't know what has happened with him. I don't know where this has all come from, but I love what we've seen from Brandon Drury over the last little while. Next batter, Derek Fisher at the plate, and he gets a hanging curveball, 0-1, does not miss it. He does not miss it. That's an interesting one. Does not miss it as he crushes it to right field, and it's gone. A 2-run shot for Derek Fisher's 4th home run of the year. I think it's his 3rd as a Blue Jay, and the Jays are now in front, 3-2. We talk about it. Clutch hits, timely hitting, good pitching, good defense. While in the ball game, the Blue Jays did not commit an error, and after that 2-run single by Tim Lopes, Jacob Waguespack was solid the rest of the way. He was awesome. But the Blue Jays offense, they weren't done. And you know what? We talk about it. Bottom of the second, you get those 3 runs, you're now in the lead. What happens in the top half of the third? Does your pitcher throw up a 0? Well, Jacob Waguespack does just that. He throws up a 0, gets the Blue Jays right back into their hitting shoes, and they continue on that roll. All right, with 1 out, Kevin Biggio singles to right field, and he had a pretty good ball game. Then Vladimir Guerrero Jr. comes up. Now, we have seen Vladdy turn into a very good-looking young hitter for this team. We have now seen it. But seeing this home run ball from him, it's like Papa. It's like Vladimir Guerrero Sr. This curveball was down and in. And I'm not saying down and in on the inside corner. I'm not saying any of that. This was down and in almost at his shoe tops. And somehow he gets to it, barrels it up, keeps it fair, and on a line, on a seed, he crushes it. 2-run shot for Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and it puts the Jays up 5-2. This kid continues to impress us all. I understand there's some people that are like, well, he's not hitting 300 like he did in the minor leagues. I get that, but he's 20. And everyone's like, well, Tatis is doing okay. Yeah, well, Tatis is now injured. So how about we be quiet about that? He's a great player, Fernando Tatis Jr. But so is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. The kid is something else. He's got mad power. And you saw it on that. And not a lot of people are going to hit home runs like that. And the next batter, Randall Grichuk, comes up. And they try a little get-me-over fastball, 2-0, because they got to try and throw a strike after giving up the home run and then going behind 2-0. And Grichuk's waiting all over for it, and he crushes it to left center field, just scrapes over the wall, but it's gone. Back-to-back home runs for the Blue Jays. And if I heard right, that is the most amount of back-to-backs in Blue Jays single-season franchise history. Bottom line, this team can hit dingers. And it's looking good. They're now up 6-2, and they, after that 2-0 deficit, they turn the hitting shoes on, and they put up 6 runs. And again, Jacob Waguespack, after the Jays scored 3 more runs and doubled their lead, I guess, doubled their score. I guess it was 3-2, that was 6-2. What does he go out there and do? He throws up zeros in the 4th, the 5th, and he goes a third in the 6th inning. Bottom line, Jacob Waguespack goes 5 1/3, gives up 5 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, and strikes out 5 batters. So going into the ball game, he had an ERA of like 4.31, leaves the ballpark with a 4.20, drops at 11 points. Good job by Jacob Waguespack after that 2-run single, really settling in and doing an incredible job the rest of the ball game for him. And the bullpen comes out, and they do a pretty good job. You know, other than Justin Schaefer giving up a couple of hits and an earned run, the bullpen was great. Tim Meza goes out there, goes a clean inning, gives up 1 walk, but that's it. Great job there by Tim Meza. Buddy Boshears comes out, faces a couple batters, walks 1, but gets his second guy out, doesn't allow a run to come across, and then Ken Giles comes out for the save, or I guess not the save, you're up by 4 runs, and gets the job done. Now, in the bottom of the 7th, the Jays' offense was not done, because Danny Jansen comes up, and on a 2-1 pitch, again, fastball up in the zone, more or less middle up, and he crushes it to left field. It's gone! Danny Jansen with his 12th home run of the year. The Jays have 12 home runs from their number 9 hitter. And that's just not a number 9 hitter that's just been plopped there today. He's been the consistent number 9 hitter. He's got 12 home runs. It tells you the amount of power this Jays lineup has up and down the lineup. They are really showing it, and it is incredible to watch. Now, they do score 1, obviously, against Justin Schaefer, Malik Smith with an RBI single to center field, and making it a 7-3 ball game, and then Giles comes out for the save. An amazing ball game, great offense, some pretty good defense, and amazing pitching by Jacob Waguespack. And the Blue Jays come away with the victory. Then are 21 games under 500, 52-73. And look, I gotta say, guys, as much as the Jays are winning ball games, and that means draft picks probably aren't going to be the greatest next year, but honestly, do the Jays need top-notch picks anymore? People are like, yeah, you're just rebuilding. We're not really just rebuilding. You have Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Bo Bichette in your major leagues right now. And you have guys like Perdino, Manoah, Kloffenstein, who is ridiculously good in his last start. I know I'm missing some guys. Kendall Williams as well. There's lots of guys in the minor leagues that look really, really good. Speaking of pitchers in the minor leagues who are looking very good, Anthony Kay got the start for the Buffalo Bisons there yesterday, and he was great. 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, walked 3, but he struck out 8. That tells me he has some strikeout stuff. And yes, don't look at his ERA of 5.19 and go, man, this guy's actually really bad. Go to his stats. Go to his stats specifically. And since becoming a Buffalo Bison, his ERA in the 4 starts, so his ERA was in 7 starts in Syracuse in AAA for the Mets, in 7 starts was 6.61. That is awful. But in the 4 starts with Buffalo, his ERA is 3.05. And if anybody knows statistics like most of us do, that is fantastic. Now, again, will this mean that he'll get a call up in September? I don't know, because he's only had 11 starts at the AAA level, so I don't know if that's going to be a thing. He might, finish the year in AAA and then next year in camp get a good opportunity to make the team. I don't know how it's going to all play out, but all I know is that Anthony Kay, the lefty acquired in the Marcus Stroman deal, is looking incredible. And by the way, Simeon Woods Richardson, he didn't pitch today, but I'm just saying in his last outing was absolutely stellar. So again, those 2 pitchers that you acquired in the Marcus Stroman deal have looked really good lately. And Marcus Stroman, yes, he picked up the win in his last start, hasn't really been the same as a New York Met as of yet. All right, and also in Buffalo, Anthony Alford continues to hit the ball really well. Went 1 for 3 with a run scored in that game. He's hitting .267. Can you focus? Thank you. Remember earlier in the year, guys, we were talking about Anthony Alford being a dud, and he was one of the top 5 prospects for the Blue Jays for a few years, and he just never stayed healthy and never was consistent with the Buffalo Bisons. He's finally finding himself. He was 1 for 3, like I said, and his batting average, was in the 180s, 190s back when we were talking about this, and I mean, getting up to .267, that is ridiculously good. I mean, he's done an amazing job turning his season around. And a guy that, has been swinging the bat incredibly well lately, Richard Urania. I mean, we all forget about this guy because he's been up and down from AAA, but more or less been in Buffalo this season. He went 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs yesterday. He's the number 3 hitter. He's hitting .279. Urania last year in Buffalo only hit like .216. He is developing. That's only 23 years old. Yeah, we've seen him before, but he's younger than Kevin Biggio, if you want to throw it out there. He's been doing a great job lately, and Santiago Espinal, after that really rough start to his AAA career, has really been swinging the bat a lot better lately. He was 2 for 4 again yesterday. His average is now up to 220 on the year down in AAA, so it's great to see him swinging the bat well down there. All right, down in AA New Hampshire, Justin Dillon was on the mound. A little bit of an older guy there in AA, but he's been doing a great job this season. Went 6 innings of 5 hit, 2 runs. Was not any earned runs, however. Walked 1 and struck out 5. He was great. And offensively, not a whole lot going on. Riley Adams 1 for 3. Chad Spanberger 1 for 4 with a run scored in the ball game. Logan Warmoth 1 for 3. Nothing really crazy down there. They had a total of 7 hits in the ball game, but that's about that for them. And Dunedin, they had a rain delay, and it looks like they're going to finish up those games today. And my boy Josh Winkowski was on the mound, and he had a rough outing through 4 innings. So that ERA is up over 3 now. So for Josh Winkowski, maybe that whole the hoorah of him being amazing. I don't know if it's going to die down at all, but all I know is that he's in Dunedin. And the guy's like 20 years old. So that's something to keep an eye on moving forward into next season, though. Wasn't a whole lot of positive offensively down there. But speaking of positives offensively, the Lansing Lugnuts won 19-1 yesterday. So let's get to these beautiful stats. All right, Otto Lopez, the young infielder, went 2 for 5 with an RBI, a walk, and 2 runs scored. The guy's hitting .311 on the season. He's 19 years old, or he's 18 years old, in that range somewhere. All right, Yorman Rodriguez, the guy who was called up from Vancouver, who was tearing apart Vancouver, is ripping apart Lansing. Went 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs, a run scored in that one, and in the very minimal time, obviously, in Lansing, only the 6 games that he's played, and the guy's hitting .464. You saw me, I'm spitting all over the place because I'm jacked up. Seeing these young kids continue to develop, and it's really nice. Gabriel Moreno went 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs and scored a couple runs. He's hitting .296, and Griffin Conine went 1 for 4, but he had 3 RBIs and a run scored. He's hitting .281 on the season, so it's really good to see from down there in the minor leagues. There wasn't a whole lot going on down there for Vancouver, but Bluefield had a good ball game. They won 4-0. And Miguel Geraldo went 1 for 4, and Leonardo Jimenez went 1 for 4. Jimenez at 17 years old is hitting .281, and Geraldo at 18 is hitting .310. Those are some 2 really good infielders the Jays have coming up, and they'll probably be in, I want to say, Vancouver next year. They could even be in Lansing once the guys like Otto Lopez, Moreno, and Conine, and those kind of guys leave. It's going to be really exciting to see what happens next year, but where guys start their seasons. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so that's going to wrap it up for the minor leagues, guys. There wasn't a whole lot else going on down there for the Blue Jays minor league system. But Game 2 of the 3-game series against the Seattle Mariners goes this afternoon. It's a 3:07 first pitch at Rogers Center as the Jays look to win the series and win back-to-back series, which would be incredible. All right, and Reggie McClain on the mound for the Seattle Mariners in this one. He's only pitched 6 innings this year. He's ERA of 4.50, obviously in 6 innings. That's it. And Trent Thornton on the mound for the Blue Jays in Game 2 of the 3-game set there this afternoon at 3:07. All right, so you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. You enjoyed the video and you guys enjoyed the ball game there last night. Smack that like button. I do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below your thoughts on the video, your thoughts on the game, your thoughts on the minor leaguers we've discussed today, and your expectations for today's ball game at 3 o'clock. All right? I want to hear everything you guys have to talk about when it comes to this team. Also, guys, check out my main man, Mo Buckets, on Twitter, Blue Jays Wave on Instagram. I hope to be on their podcast next week. It's going to be a lot of fun, hopefully. And it's just awesome talking to these guys week in, week out about our Blue Jays and what's going on in the minor leagues. A lot of fun. All right. And, guys, check out Twitter is down below. Follow up, send me a DM, guys. Do all that great stuff. And I will talk to you guys, obviously, like I said, later on today in the finale of the middle game of the 3-game set against the Seattle Mariners. I guess it is. Reggie McClain on the mound for the Mariners. Trent Thornton on the mound for the Blue Jays as the Jays look for the series win and back-to-back wins. And good to see. Well, I really want to see Trent Thornton have really good back-to-back starts. It'd be good to see. 3:07 first pitch at Rogers Center. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Talk to you guys then.